And we're live. It's Ian Botcher with the Botcher team here with Zahara and Andrew. Welcome. And I feel underdressed. It's casual Friday for Ian. But so last week we talked about, is the market correcting? Well, today we're going to kind of get into a little bit that honestly I see the market kind of is correcting. So we're definitely seeing changes. And so I'm going to have Zahara, why don't you go ahead and tell them kind of what the numbers look like, and then we'll talk about what that means.
Sure. So part of that is inventory is up. We're at 1,120 units. We are at a 109.2 sale to list price ratio, which means it's going down, which is a good thing. And we're average price point at 1.478 million with a median of 1.355.
Wow. So I mean, Andrew, remember, was it a week ago? Was it 115?
Something like that,
I think we hit a high list, so 109.
So I think this is the first time we've reversed course in terms of the direction for the sale to list price ratio since, I think, September.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's inverse because we talked a lot about how at the beginning of the year we were down to the low was 350 units. They were at 1120. It's the first time we've broken 1100, and I think it was only 2 or 3 weeks ago we finally broke 1,000. So I think really what's happening, supply and demand. Supply is going up, so as the demand drops, we're starting to see those corrections. Average prices dropped. List to sale price ratios dropped. So, I think that's exciting news for people that are trying to buy. But for people that are trying to sell, it's not bad. We're still at record, all-time records. We're just not as crazy. We kind of hit that
plateau, I think. Or it's starting to plateau and crest a little bit.
So if you're on the fence, now might be a good time to get that ball rolling.
Yeah, and I think if for buyers, for sure, there's opportunity again.
Mm-hmm.
For sellers, opportunity's never really stopped. For the last 6+ years, it's been a seller's market, and it's still a seller's market.
Well, I think this is kind of a good window for buyers, especially because the market's softening, so comps are kind of becoming a little bit more in line with the sales prices, which are making it easier to appraise. That's one piece. The other piece is that interest rates are rising, and as interest rates rise, the cost of money goes up. Your mortgage is going to go up for a cheaper house. So those things combined kind of push towards maybe taking advantage of this lull in the market.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And if you lock your rate now, especially if you're locking in a fixed rate and you're planning to be in the house for a long time, now's the time to lock that fixed rate because the reports say interest rates are going up. They're not going to be any lower. They're most likely going to go up. So if you've been on the fence for a while, if you've been in the housing market, you've been off and on shopping, and it might be the time to pull that trigger. Lock your rate now. Get the house, and then we know long-term prices go up. We know rates are going up. So if this is the window that can get you in the door, I think it's a great time. Now I know we've been as a team we've been getting a lot busier again, and we've been helping get our opportunities. It was real tough to get our clients in contract. Andrew, you just had a success getting a client in contract. Yeah. How'd that go? Tell them a little bit about it.
That was so recently. About a week ago, I got one of my clients into a home in Livermore. It was. There was about 6 offers. We were the last as far as I know, we were the last offer. We actually ended up offering late intentionally. So I cleared it with the agent that the offer due date was at 4 p.m., but my client was actually on vacation and out of cell service until about 4 p.m. our time. So I actually told my client that was actually a good thing because most professional listing agents have a buffer between the offer due date and when they actually present to their clients. In this case, it was about 1.5 hours. They're actually going to present at 5:30. So because I knew there was going to be that kind of window of opportunity to be late, it also allowed me to talk to the listing agent right before the due date because we spoke and I said, I kind of want to know what the lay of the land is, what the offer landscape is before I finalize our offer. And so he ended up telling us basically where all the other offers came in at, or roughly speaking, he gave me a good idea where we needed to be competitive and where we needed to be to win, and we ended up winning because of that extra information from being the last offer.
So basically, some good circumstances with your client, not really necessarily being able to be available, coupled with sort of you strategizing with the listing agent, you were able to gauge interest and calculate your offer with your client so that you win the day.
And a lot of it too is, I had actually built up enough rapport with the partner agent. Actually, the main agent was on vacation in Cambodia, but the partner agent, I built enough rapport with him where I felt like I could get a lot of cooperation and maybe some pricing help towards the end of the offer cycle. So that's why I kind of wanted to talk to him as late as possible when he could give me the most information possible.
I think that's a missing component that a lot of clients are buyers and sellers, don't always understand the real estate business and the process. But I think that's something that people understand is, at the end of the day, the other agent, we're the cooperating agent, they oftentimes it comes down to there's 2 or 3 buyers who are willing to pay that a certain price. Usually it ends up with 2 or 3 buyers who are willing to pay a certain price. So at that point, the listing agent and of course the seller are going to have some choice in who they really want to work with. They don't have to work with any one offer because they've got multiple people who will oftentimes be willing to kind of give the best price. So it comes down to the professionalism of the team, and we've won a lot of our offers have been accepted because, and we've had the feedback, people saying, well, I've had clients, and I know Andrew's had it, Zahara's had it. We've all had it many times where the agents have said, you know what, we want to work with you guys because you're professional. They feel like if they work with us, that the transaction is going to go smoothly, things are going to be done correctly. They're not going to have to be chasing us down, and mistakes won't be made.
Right, and it's especially important from the listing agent standpoint side because they have all of the leverage, or maybe 80% of the leverage in the deal before you get into contract. Once you get into contract, that shifts completely to the buyer's side, and the buyer's agent and the buyer have 80% of the leverage. So, they want to make sure that they're going to deal with somebody who's professional and who's not going to screw them when they have the power.
Yeah. Well, and for those of you who write offers on my listings, I leave about a 5-hour buffer, and the reason is
people always do late offers.
There's that, but no. Also, when it comes time, so it depends. I've had listings with 20 offers. I take every single offer, I take a ruler, and I just line by line, and I go through, and I put sticky notes. I'm kind of old school. I'll print them and I'll put them out, and I'll put sticky notes, and I'll go through and I'll write. I'll take notes on the offers and the terms, and I'm looking for anything secret in there, so that way, by the time I go in, I have a full strategy in presenting to the seller, and I already kind of have an idea of what I want to do. It's a seller's decision ultimately, but I'll go in having full recommendations. Again, we're talking about the influence of listing agent. Because I do this so much, we already know what we want to have happen in that scenario, and I go in with a full strategy, but I give myself a lot of time because I create that strategy up front and ahead of time when presenting offers to the seller.
Right. So the bottom line is the offer due date isn't necessarily the offer due date.
Yeah. Wait, before we close out, we got a lot of comments. I don't know, a lot of people watching. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. It's been the Botra team, Friday Facts, and we look forward to talking to you guys all soon.